Welcome to Hip Hop Movie Club, the show that harmonizes the rhythm of hip hop with the magic of movies. Today, we're discussing the film and TV career of hip hop legend Ice Cube. We are three old heads who put their old heads together to vibe on these films for you. I'm Dino Wright, podcaster, filmmaker, longtime hip hop fan. Without these next two guys, I am Kool-Aid without the sugar.
I'm JB, 80s and 90s nostalgia junkie, longtime hip hop fan, and 1, 2, 3, gonna come with the wicked style, and you know that I'm from the wicked crew. Act like you knew, cause I got everybody jumping to the voodoo. Kick it.
Nice. I'm Boogie, a DJ, longtime hip hop fan, and I remember when the subject of this episode first hit the scene, I used to dress just like him in the videos, minus the Jerry curl. I mean, I stayed with the Raiders, a Kings, or White Sox fitted.
In this episode, we are taking a close look at Ice Cube's lengthy acting career and beyond.
And here are 3 takeaways on Ice Cube. 1. Ice Cube is more versatile as an actor than you might realize. 2. Even as his acting career has evolved in surprising ways, he has stayed true and authentic to himself.
Number 3, his career also evolved to include founding the Big Three, a basketball league with former NBA players and other entrepreneurial projects.
All right, let's get right into Ice Cube. He's forged quite a career for himself. He is starting out as a hip-hop star and taking the world by storm on the big screen. Made his debut in the 1991 film Boys in the Hood, which was directed by John Singleton, and he played Doughboy. And right away, it was just a smooth transition from music to acting. And that opened up so many more doors for him and an amazing career. Boogie, you want to take us through a little bit more of the versatility that he has shown as an actor from that role and going forward, and how he's become a household name as an actor as well?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, he's played in some action roles. He's played opposite J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez in the film Anaconda, which, is of course about a giant anaconda. Starred in Three Kings, which is a movie that takes place in the Middle East. He plays a soldier with a group of other soldiers who are trying to steal some gold that belonged to Saddam Hussein. He played in the sequel, Triple X State of the Union, the sequel to the Triple X franchise that starred Vin Diesel. So you know what kind of role that is. And then he's got some buddy cop roles, all about the Benjamins, opposite Mike Epps in the Ride Along franchise with Kevin Hart. Some dramatic roles in Higher Learning, another John Singleton film, which we've talked about before. It takes place on a college campus, Trespass, which also features another hip-hop artist, Ice-T, I'm sorry, The Glass Shield. And then he's got some family-friendly movies, like, the Are We There Yet? And his follow-up sequel, The Long Shots, which also stars him as a football coach. Kiki Palmer plays the team's quarterback in that film. A pretty funny movie. So yeah, he's done a lot of roles, and then most of this generation, the younger generation, probably doesn't even know that he was a hip hop artist. They probably just think he's always been an actor in some way, shape, or form, or a producer or writer of some sort in film. They probably don't even realize that he was started off penning a lot of the lyrics for the group NWA and having his own solo career, very successful solo career as well. But yeah, he's definitely a household name. Like, he's pretty well known.
Yeah, big time.
Big time.
Dino, any of those movies resonate with you?
I think the one that resonates the most is Friday.
Yeah, buddy.
And maybe people know him from memes related to Friday, but
oh yeah,
that movie in particular, and we did review this movie, so you can go back and check that out. But cult classic. It was funny then. It's still funny now. And there are still times where I think about or use lines from that movie in my daily speech.
Absolutely.
I always afraid of running out of milk at home. I don't have milk with no cereal or Kool-Aid with no sugar, and so it's like life lesson. Make sure you have both.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so many pop culture references. The Bye Felicia we talked about at length. How you going to get fired on your day off? That still hits home. It's
I
so
was trying to
funny.
think if I've ever been fired on my day off. I don't think so, but I have to think about that.
Oh,
How you get
man.
fired on your day off?
Oh man, I referred on my lunch break.
Think about he went from starring as Doughboy, and that was 1992 or 91.
91.
And then his next real big project was writing and co-starring in Friday. Amazing, and just sets him up for such success because it's such a good movie. And we talked about this in our review of it, but it is a stoner comedy, but there is a heart to it, especially in the end. We see themes of father-son love that it's hard to find sometimes in movies about urban experiences.
Yeah, the name Debo lives on, even the wide receiver for the 49ers that Boogie's a big fan of, Debo Samuel. He got his nickname from Debo, his character, Tiny Lister. It just keeps...
Whenever I need to hide something, I think, oh, Debo's coming. I gotta hide something.
Yep. It's funny. It's like, anytime you hear like something squeaky, it always makes you think of that daggone bike he was riding on. I remember I was at work and if something was an event, something in an event was squeaking, and I kept looking up like, and I can picture the bike coming down the street. It's like a little bike coming between the cubicles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, but yeah.
I think Ice Cube did a lot to put these buddy movies on the map with his chemistry with Chris Tucker, and then he's done films more recently with Kevin Hart. He obviously Mike Epps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he had that formula, and he was very relatable, as we like to say. He did a lot of those buddy comedies. There's a lot of stuff about friendship and bonding throughout his filmography.
Mm-hmm.
And then the versatility we talk about with fatherhood, with Are We There Yet and The Long Shots as well.
Yeah, he's done all sorts of roles. We were prepping for this and thought, oh, wait, he's done all sorts of things.
And the Are We There Yet movies are hilarious. If you have never watched them, highly recommend them. They're hilarious. The way he interacts with those kids, it cracks me up.
Yeah. In the Barbershop series as well, talks about a lot of cultural issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't even mention the Barbershop series. Yeah, forgot about those. How did I mention those? And I like them. I like
there's
those
so many.
too.
There's so many things he's done that.
Yeah, and I love the Barbershop movies. He plays a very positive character in that franchise, like a pivotal member of the community. And the Barbershop, just in general, it has significance in the urban community because it's a meeting place. It's a central location where, men go, and they don't just go there to get a haircut. They go there to talk about sports, politics, building better in the community. Like all sorts of topics are discussed at the barbershop. So that was very key for that film series to make its way onto the screen. Yeah, I definitely enjoy watching those movies, and I'll watch them whenever they're on.
So another thing that we mentioned, takeaway number 2, was even as his acting career has evolved, he stayed true and authentic to himself. Like he has that edge to him, which kind of speaks to his upbringing and triumphing over tragedy. He's been so authentic in his way, in his mannerisms and the way that he speaks. So, I think that's just a great quality about Ice Cube. How he's he projects how he really is authentically.
Yeah, he definitely comes across like, even in the funny movies, even when he's being funny, it's like he's still himself. Like you still see Ice Cube in there. There's no over the top thing about it. And I think back to I was watching the 21 Jump Street in his subsequent sequel. We plays the captain. I think it's the captain in that movie. He's supervising the Jump Street crew, and he is hilarious. Like he's like so hard on those guys, but it's so funny. Like the way he comes down on them is hilarious. But you can see that like it's like even if it wasn't a character, you could still definitely see him in there. Like it comes across very authentic.
Yeah, you can definitely see parallels between his career trajectory from the hardcore rapper to a mainstream actor and producer. Like he starts off all rigid and hard. He's got that hard exterior, but then he kind of softens up and shows his versatility and likability in most of his roles.
And not for nothing, ironically, he wrote very critical lyrics about the police, and then, much like Ice-T, started a lot of things as a cop.
Right.
And pulled it off. I mean, he also pulled it off, too. So, a credit to his acting ability.
Yep. It's funny because I think back to one of the Triple X State of the Union, which I mentioned earlier, and they show him he plays like a ex-military that they're trying to bring into this secret mission, and they're doing a profile on this character, and they're going over his resume, like all of the bad stuff he's done, and like he had a troubled past and etc. And they put up his picture of him as he's younger, and this is actual NWA picture with the Cherry Curl. And I think it was either a Raiders hat or a Kings hat that he had on. I'm like, oh my god! Every time I see that, I can't help but to laugh. It's like it's not even meant to be funny, but it's just like, yeah, that's really him. He's got the typical like old school NWA mean mug on. Oh man.
Yeah, Cube's done so much work. He's even done, he's done some voice work. He's done just so much in the entertainment industry. But our final takeaway is his career also has evolved to include founding the Big Three, a basketball league with former NBA players and other entrepreneurial projects. Dinah Wright, you want to talk a little bit about the Big Three, what you know about it, and other projects that Cube has worked on?
It's an interesting project and not meant to compete with the NBA, but it's almost like a nice supplement because it uses a lot. They have a lot of former NBA players, a lot of like high-level college players, even like Dr. J, Julius Irving, is one of the coaches of one of these teams.
Yeah.
And so it's like 3-on-3 basketball. And so it fits in nicely with your regular NBA and college basketball in your life. But also, he also made news when Caitlin Clark was coming out of Iowa and offered $1 million. That's $1 million, I think, to join the Big Three because the salaries of the WNBA comparable to like NBA salaries. And so he raised some interesting points about pay equity and stuff like that. He was unsuccessful in enticing Caitlin Clark to go to the Big Three, but it should be pointed out too that a women's Big Three type basketball league was also founded in the wake of this. He was there in the beginning talking about better opportunities for women in sports. So kudos to him for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Caitlin Clark's made up more than the $1 million in her endorsement deals and NIL even back in college. But that was a kind gesture. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good for him for putting it out.
Yeah,
also,
definitely.
he's founded a production company, Cube Vision, and so a lot of his later projects are coming out of there. And so, which makes sense as a Hollywood, all the power he has in Hollywood, that's something that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and did you know, well, we talked about this prior to the show, but going back to the basketball, he was honored with the Ice Cube Impact Award named after him by the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. As we researched this, we didn't realize that he literally has an award named after him for his contributions to basketball, which is kind of cool.
Very cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Community basketball support.
Yep. And he leaves a legacy like O'Shea Jackson, his real name, and you fans of The Mandalorian and other newer films and TV series will recognize Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr., in a lot of things. He looks very similar to his pops, so you can spot him.
Played him in the Straight Outta Compton biopic that we also reviewed.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Not without his controversies, both as a young man and as a as a current man. He was controversial back in the day for his lyrics at NWA, but lately controversial for sort of hanging or sort of aligning himself with Trump, other people in the Trump ecosystem. So, yeah, make what you will of that. And some anti-Semitism. Complicated.
Complicated, right?
Yeah.
There's no denying his contributions to cinema and hip-hop. And, yep, and that's why we're profiling him here. Because, again, he's got a wide breadth of entertainment contributions, which is to be celebrated. So,
as we record this, we are an upcoming screening event we have at good old Steel Stacks. Is Boys in the Hood in November, so that's going to be all over our socials, and we can see Boys in the Hood on the big screen. So
in 4K.
Yes, in 4K.
In 4K.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, 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 ding. Upgrades have been made to the Frank Banco Alehouse Cinemas. So we're excited about that. Our man Anthony making it happen. And we are going to have a very informative and engaging panel discussion about the social and cultural impact of Boys in the Hood with some regional professors in the Lehigh Valley. Representing the likes of Kutztown University, Lafayette College, Northampton Community College, and more. So that's an event you won't want to miss on November 13th,
everyone.
Yep.
If you
Definitely.
haven't seen the film, definitely try to make it out. If you have seen the film, come see it in 4K.
Come see it in 4K. Mm-hmm.
And stay for the discussion because you're going to get something out of it. I guarantee it.
Hip Hop Movie Club is produced by your HHMCs, JB, Boogie, and Dino Wright. Theme music by Boogie. And as we mentioned, on November 13th at Steel Stacks in Bethlehem, we are presenting a screening of Boys in the Hood with a special panel discussion. Tickets available at steelstacks.org. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Hip Hop Movie Club. And whether you're listening to the podcast or watching us on YouTube, please give us a follow. It's a real power up for us. Thanks for tuning in.
And remember, don't hate, motivate.
Yeah.
That's right.
Go Boogie, go Boogie. Ooh!
Nice.
I am motivated now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good.